Okay, this is a playthrough for the Challenge Circuit Rookie Design Battle. Had 17 entrants for players or designers who had not had more than one course on tour or had not had more than 4 courses accepted and approved for tour play. Um, that's how we qualified folks as rookie designers. So some of them pushed the envelope on those limits, and we're about to play one of those courses. This is going to be Copper Lake Falls by Hootbleed. And Hootbleed, when this contest had started, had not had a course on tour. And and he's known for being the creator of the low course at St. Bede's, which was subsequently used for Q School. So, just give you an idea of background of this designer. Just give me 1 sec. Let me back out of this for a moment. Give me 1 moment. Party, create a party. Create a party. I won't. Okay. Back here, I'm gonna create.
Oh, there you are, Patrick.
Hey, how's it going, Jeremy?
Not too bad yourself.
Doing all right. Doing all right.
You're gonna start us with a fun one, I see.
Yes, I'm starting you with a fun one.
All right, yeah.
So
I will just pull up my notes on Copper Falls, and we'll be good to go.
Yeah. All right. Sure, dude. Oh, hold on. Custom rules. I'm gonna turn order. Are you gonna join me or?
Yeah, I can join you.
Okay. I'm gonna turn order off so we can get through these.
Okay.
All right. Sure. Create an in-game. I hope this works. I'm not very versed at creating private matches. Very. No, I usually mess this up.
Well, I got an invitation from you, so.
Okay.
All right.
I did this already.
Join that. And if that worked, yep.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
now that you're in the party,
screen,
okay. So the trick is you have to join the party before I go and create the match, and then.
Yep.
All right. And I guess I need to add. No. All right, you're in.
Yep, I see you.
Okay, let's back to the gold tees.
Yep.
And we'll play pin 1, sure.
Yep.
Unless you had a fun pin that you wanted to try.
No, one's the only one I've played. Okay. So,
right,
I mean,
let's do
pretty
that.
much unless anybody specified otherwise, I'm playing tips in 1. So.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So again, this is the Challenge Circuit Rookie Design Battle. The goal of this is to take lesser known designers, or some, in this case, an intermediate, somewhat known, designer, and get courses that are appropriate for the challenge circuit tour. Sometimes those are a little difficult to come by, especially for CCM and now the new beginner tour. So that was the goal here, and add a little fun and encourage folks to join. So this is Copper Lake Falls by Hootbleed. Hootbleed is known for the low course at St. Bede's. So that's just some background on here. So we're starting out short par 5, lots of waterfalls. Detached green, so there's some risk here. All right, so right off the bat, nice opening tee shot, but I'm getting quite a bit of lag. I don't want to.
Yeah, and that's especially for PS4 users. I think Hoot's on PC, but I mean, especially for the PS4 users, I mean, a lot of waterfalls, a lot of grandstands, a lot of those extra effects can really make things laggy. This course, I've already played through it once. It didn't really affect the gameplay that bad to where it would force, affect tempo or stuff like that, but it's just a choppy look and it kind of looking at it.
Yeah. So off the tee, the one thing I noticed is there's a bunker on the left. I don't know, I'm hitting against the wind for this hole, so it didn't really get in my way, but you really can't see it. So it's sort of a hidden hazard. Right, that's as far as the green shape here. There's some waviness to it. It doesn't look very smooth, so size is sort of an L shape, so it's an okay size. It's a little bit big if you come up short, but shouldn't be too big a problem. I do like the rock work and the waterfalls visually. The second shot, it's okay. I wish the land directly in front of me was a little lower, or the green was a little higher.
Yes.
So that we could really see it.
And I think overall, I mean, that's a kind of a common mistake for some newer
I just
designers.
albatrossed.
Well, I know which course just won.
That's the first one ever. All right, now I'm waiting for you.
No, I just hit my second shot, and spoiler alert, I won't, Albie. But no, getting back to the sightlines, I mean, I see that as kind of a common mistake amongst newer designers. I mean, especially if you're going to put in all that work. I mean, seeing the falls and everything is great, but I mean, there's good rock work down by the green, and you got the retaining wall there. Let me see that from the fairway.
Yeah, I agree. It spoils the presentation. It's just you do all that work and then you don't see it.
I just burnt the edge of my eagle putt.
That was close.
Yeah, I'll have to settle for a birdie and dropping 2 shots back.
Oh, jeez. Don't worry, you'll make those up in 3 holes. All right, second hole, and there's a tree. And
yes,
for the first time I played this, I wanted to initially say, "Oh, publish error," but given the shape of the fairway that leads up to it, it's clear that this tree is intentional.
Yeah.
And
I'll just say, I mean, it's already been something that's been discussed amongst quite a few of the judges. The biggest thing here, especially for a CC level course, and I mean, if you look, I don't know what your wind is, Patrick, but I've got a wind that's about 8 miles an hour, and that's quartering away from right to left.
Yeah.
So in order to get at this pin, unless I'm going to try to hit a big cut to fight the wind and try to come in from the left, which is the better angle, I'm pretty much forced to take that tree head on.
Yeah.
And I know the first time I played, I actually kind of clipped the branches. I ended up all right, but I clipped the branches. And I mean, for a PGA level course, I mean, when you're guys are throwing in darts and they can do all these crazy things, that's great. But I mean, this is a really tough shot for a CC guy to try to pull off.
I'm just gonna say it's a really difficult shot. Period. I don't like the concept. It's an obstacle just to be an obstacle, and I don't like it. I mean, I have to hit at this tree, and to me, that's just it's hard for the sake of being hard to me.
Yeah, to me, I think I made mention of the. It almost seemed like an afterthought. It seemed like, okay, this is playing a little easy, so I'm just going to throw a tree here to make things more difficult. And I mean, there's different ways you could go about it. I mean, you could have. I mean, it's a very large green itself. I mean, you could have changed the angle of the green slightly. I mean, you could have, added a nice raised bunker right there, kind of with a big splashed lip that
Right.
goes over the horizon of the green to kind of break up that look and make a front pin more intimidating. There's a lot of different things that could have been done
Right.
other than a tree there.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And I'm looking at this, and I don't know that there's a pin, but I'm looking at there's a little tier in the front left, and it looks like there probably would be a pin in that location. And this is, something I was critical of at St. Bede's is the number of slopes that ran away from the approach.
Hmm.
Um, and and I think the difference here. I think you do see that on this course a fair amount, but the difference that I saw is that in those cases where the green does slope from front to back, the approach shot is generally short. You're usually hitting 8, 9 iron pitching wedge, and that I think is fair. So just something that we looked at, or I looked at for sure. Um, here I've got a so here I've got a fairway. It bends out to the left, but if I hit driver, I'm absolutely running through this. So now reaching this area, like, it's downhill, so just drop down to 2 wood and hit it. The wind is going in that direction, so it makes it a little more helpful.
Strategy-wise, this is actually a tee shot I definitely liked because there's definite advantage to trying to play the draw and
Hmm.
be aggressive and get down in that little corner at the far left there because you've got a much cleaner angle in that way, a much shorter approach in. And overall, as a design philosophy, I don't mind that. I mean, if you're going to take some risk and play the aggressive shot, if you pull it off, I mean, there should be some reward off the tee. And that definitely happens on this tee shot, where if you're going to play conservative and play out to the right, it's going to be a longer approach in. I think to accentuate that angle and that strategy, I would have loved to have seen the front right bunker kind of extended out a little bit, maybe right along the edge of the green to make that a little more of a force carry if you play out right and safe. But overall, I like the idea behind this tee shot.
Right. So what you're saying is this bunker on the front right that's over in this corner
Yeah,
here, just bring that out in front of the green, so that now that I've hit it out in this area, which I did kind of play a little bit to the left, but if I was
yeah,
coming in from here, now I have to hit over it, and that front
yeah,
pin becomes pretty challenging.
yeah.
Um, going back to kind of what we said about the first hole and its sightlines, this hole, on the other hand, as far as sightlines goes, looks really good. Um, the fairway and green are fairly level to one another, and I could see everything that's been done in the green complex. So that's a
Mhm.
much better job here.
Another thing I'd note, I would say overall with the bunkering, I mean, inside the bunkers looks decently sculpted. And I noticed this elsewhere on the course too. I'd like to see, a little more work done outside the bunkers, especially on the back lips, to kind of give them a little pop. They look a little flat um, at times here, and this was a case where I felt like maybe popping those back lips up a little bit more and splashing them a little bit would have just created a more dynamic look. Doesn't really change the playability at all, just creates a little more dynamic look.
And oh, BS Petty just joined us in chat. Hey, Brian. Actually, he joined us like a couple minutes ago, but we were busy yapping.
I'll just pull up my quick. Ooh, you bogeyed that, Patrick?
Oh yeah, I hit my second shot incredibly long and then wasn't paying attention on my putt and came up 20 feet short. So yeah, all right. So here another one. There's a bunker on the left, and all right. So this is this hole. I forgot this hole. So first thing off the tee, there's this bunker on the left, and I can't see it. And there's such an opportunity to make this look really dramatic. The other thing with this hole, and I'll pull up the overhead here, is it's this huge, more than 90-degree dog leg, and essentially I have to hit it. I have to hit driver to the end of this fairway just to see the green. There is the potential, I suppose, to hit up over this mountain, but it just doesn't seem like I could carry all that, and I just get stuck up here. So now I'm left with really no option other than to play down here, and it's narrow. Like the safe shot is not safe because I've got this bunker I need to take on, and if I wanted to lay back to here, I can't. I don't know that I could hit that green.
Well, that's the thing. It's not necessarily the safe shot. It's really the only shot you have, and that's what I didn't like about this hole. It was very dictatorial. Okay, you have to hit the point A and then the point B. I mean, there really wasn't a lot of option given here on this shot. I didn't feel.
Right. Well, you could do what I just did and hook it into the bunker. Yeah. All right. What? All right. Hold on. I didn't know what I was doing here. Okay.
And I'm not sure where you are, Patrick, but speaking of missed opportunities, if you go to the back of this green where these bunkers are, again,
Right.
They're kind of hidden from view. I mean, it's not really a playability factor. I mean, I suppose if you really tuck a pin in that back edge, they'd be in play. But look at how the light rough kind of lends up into the mountainside there. Now, imagine kind of a rougher, more ragged kind of bunker look, and you're running that bunker up to the base of the cliff there.
Right.
You're kind of splashing it up and really pulling up. That would have been a really cool look. And then it helps frame the green a little bit better, too, in my opinion.
Yeah, it looks sort of. I mean, I like the road, the cart path. I think up on this hill, It doesn't look all that great, but once you get over the hill and down to the side of the green, then go up in between the two peaks, that looks really good. Like that's a sharp look. But you're right, the bunker it's there, but it's who knows it's there. And now that it's there, what does it do? Like it hardly ever will catch anything. And if it does, I don't think it makes the recovery any more difficult. Jeremy, did your mic go out? You sound like you're really far away.
Yep. No,
Or is
just
it?
bring it a little closer. I was just
Okay.
having a drink of iced tea, actually,
Oh.
but
All right. All right. So now we went up that mountain. Now we're coming down. This is a nice look on the flyover. It's a
oh
nice
yeah,
look from the tee too.
yeah, it's just a really cool look. This hole.
Well, the other thing
Trying
too, I
to.
don't know exactly where I land here. I think I land in 0 wind. I think I put it in this bunker. I maybe carry it, but you've got this water on the left and on the right. It looks like it's a creek that gets cut off by the fairway. Does it go anywhere? It kind of just there.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it looks like. I mean, there's a deeper pond back behind it.
Right. Is it
way off in the distance?
Yeah. I don't know. I think I would like to see, and I said this on another course yesterday or the other day, kind of this running as a diagonal hazard, and forget the bunker here, right? Kind of replacing what this bunker's doing, so that I'm really discouraged from taking this on, and then I think I would like the hole to be, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I need the holes to be any shorter. Just because I think.
I mean,
I don't know. I think it's
for CC it might, especially the AM, it might be difficult where you're seeing more pro club users.
right.
But I mean, at least I found it at 508, even with all the elevation and even into the wind, it was still playable with master clubs. I mean, it wasn't like I'm trying to hit 3-wood in.
Right. No,
now,
I've got even with the wind.
Slow.
Right. Even with wind in our face, I've got 5-iron.
Yeah.
Although it's an awkward 5-iron. It sits in between. I really actually have 5 hybrid going in. This green is interesting, just because the wind is really working against me. Back.
Yeah. So this hole.
But it's a playable hole. It's actually one of the nicest holes. I think overall it's a good look from the tee. The second shot looks good. It's uphill, but you really can see everything. And it's definitely a hole you could mess up. It's a challenging hole. But I like it. I would like to drop down to the player clubs and move up a tee and kind of see how that plays. So I wonder how difficult that second shot would be, with lesser clubs. All right, and then we have this hole hitting down to a very narrow green.
Yeah.
And again, I don't really see the green complex very well. The bunker on the right, I don't see really at all. This is challenging.
Yeah, I felt like that was the biggest missed opportunity was that bunker on this hole because, I mean, I get the concept. It's a bit of a Redan concept. I mean, could perhaps widen out the left side a scotch, but you wrap that bunker on the right around, it really kind of gives definition to the shot. I definitely don't mind the trouble long because, I mean, in a classic Redan, you're going to have trouble if you go long and too far left. This is more of a mirror or reverse Redan, which runs from left to right instead of the other way around. But I mean, it's kind of an interesting take on the whole. And like I said, I mean, to me, it's just, I mean, you wrap around that bunker, give it a little more definition there, really makes the target pop.
Hey, Curtis. Todd Father just joined us as well.
Curtis. And then another waterfall. I don't really get a lot of leg from it. That's good. But the waterfalls on the back of this green over by 7T, I mean, those are very well done. Very dramatic.
All right, so I can hear them.
Yep.
All right. So I have some
Yep,
comments
I'm
about.
on 7 now.
Yeah, I have some comments over here. So on the left-hand side, we can see the waterfalls coming down the rocks, and it looks really, really good. What I don't like is how deep all of this is, and what I get and what I see here is a lot of that effect where when you lower land down so sharply, the texture on the banks stretches out, and really kind of, to me, ruins the look of what you're doing. And it just looks really sharp. From the tee, it looks great, but as I fly over it, I notice it. Like, it stands out to me. But from the tee, I think the shot looks really, really good. The path coming up. Again, more hidden hazards, right?
Yes.
I have some bunkers that I can't see, and thankfully I've got Scout Cam, so it's not a playability problem. Just it's a missed opportunity, I think. And same thing with the green complex. It's all I see is brown and green, but there's 3 bunkers next to the green that, man, I would love to see them and break up the color contrast.
Yeah. Well, this is another one like hole 4. I take that back right bunker. I mean, again, build that right into the base of your cliff.
Right.
And flash that up a little bit. I mean, that's really cool. And then what it further does is it kind of draws your eye. And if it draws your eye to the back of the green, then you look up and it's like, holy crap, here's this abandoned cave. Which that was one of the first things that jumped out at me at that cave behind the green. Definitely an extra out of play thing, but I mean, it's just a nice little creative touch, and I thought it was really well done.
What did I just do? What's interesting is I've played this and I didn't notice it at all. But it is a pretty cool look. I'd like to see more of this type of stuff.
Yeah, I thought the cave behind the green might have been the single most creative element in the contest of the courses I've judged, which is all of them.
All of them.
Yeah. Are we still waiting on Dwayne to finish up?
Yes, we are.
Can I just say it? What's going on?
I don't know. But we should definitely invade his stream on Tuesday.
Yeah. Flood him with Rochers until he finishes up judging.
Oh, man. It's, I watched the stream, and it's difficult for me to take a side because I think both Oreos and Rochers are delicious.
Yeah. Depends on the mood I'm in, but yeah, you won't hear me complain about either.
Well, Lamarcus gets every hole of every course. Well, at this point, he needs to. There's about 4 or 5 courses that he needs to play and give scores on that are critical, and it's going to affect the next round. So scores are amazingly close. Another uphill tee shot where I can't see the bunkers.
Yeah.
And we've said that 4 times, and we've played 8 holes. And now another one. This green complex, with the view over the hill of this, the fence and everything, it's amazing. I wish I could see that from the fairway, and I can't because I'm hitting downhill to it, and there's humps and bumps that are right in front, and there's hidden bunkers, and the green you can't see. It's another missed opportunity. Aaron, right now we're playing through some contest courses, so not going to have an opportunity to play that really today or uh, anytime soon, to be honest. But normally I wouldn't mind. So thank you for asking. But we do need to get through some of these contest playthroughs so we can wrap up. If you reach out to me at another point, if I've got time, um, I can do that, and if I'm not streaming, and then I can send you some notes.
Yeah. And Curtis, to answer your message in the chat, I mean, this has been my pleasure. I mean, you know, backstory. I mean, Patrick and I were participants in the rookie comp that HB did. Geez, going on what, 2.5 years ago now? I think it was. But
Yeah.
I mean, it was a very rewarding experience for me. I mean, that was the first real course I really, put a ton of time into and was really proud of the effort. And even then, I look back at Laurel Run, it's like, what the hell are you doing? But I mean, I learned so much out of that contest, and I gained so much confidence in the contest that, I mean, when Patrick said he wanted to do another one, I'm like, okay, one way or another, I got to help out in some way, shape, or form. It just seemed right. I mean, because, I mean, I'm trying to remember who all were the judges in that rookie comp. You had Todd Driver, you had Dario Logan, you had HB Keith, and I'm trying to remember who the fourth was.
Callie, Keith's brother.
Okay. And, I mean, they were obviously some very heavy hitters back then. And, they gave us a lot of great feedback. I mean, I remember Scampy and Ola, offline, kind of like what Crazy's doing. Hey, I mean, if you want me to play through and give some notes, I mean, and they were quick with their feedback. I mean, I learned so much from that. I mean, I was tickled pink to hear that Patrick was bringing it back, and I think it's a great opportunity for these new designers to really learn a lot.
Yeah, I just, what I needed, what kind of one of the things that spurred this on was there was some messages on the TGCT forums, and there were a lot of designers that were struggling to get noticed. And there was, some talk that, there are some favorited designers, and it's not that. It's, if you get a course by someone that it's pretty much a cinch that, okay, I kind of know what I'm going to get here. You go ahead and play it. Oh, yeah, perfect. And you go get it, put it on. But we made an effort last year. We had 51 different designers on the challenge circuit last year. So that's a testament to, the number of new folks that they're putting out high quality courses. But we wanted to expand on that, right? And the easiest way to get, folks involved is to have a contest where they feel like they have a chance, right? And two reasons. One, it's encouraging. They don't feel like they're out of their element. Oh, I can never win. But also gives them a chance to get good, constructive feedback. Things that worked well, things that didn't work well, why they didn't work well. Getting that feedback is often very difficult, but it's really important. And it's something that every designer wants, but is hard to come by sometimes. So I wanted to encourage folks to join, and we had good turnout. We had 17 courses finished for this event, so certainly very happy with that turnout.
That was the other very impressive thing. We had 17 entrants, and we had 17 guys finish. I think in the original rookie comp, I think we had 16 sign up and 12 finish. And I mean, it is very rare. Now it's getting better. I mean, it's trending this way, but it's very rare to have everybody finish one of these contests because, I mean, real life happens. I mean, you sometimes get a newbie, who thinks that all of a sudden realizes, oh crap, I'm way over my head. But I mean, to have everybody is very phenomenal. And the other thing I'll say is, some of these new guys have already signed up and are part of the Invicta. I'm a little worried about the Wheel of Death Monday night. I'm not going to lie, because there's some names from this contest who are signed up for the Invicta that I do not want in my group. I will be perfectly honest.
Right.
I mean, because they definitely have the chops to compete with the quote-unquote vets and super vets. So I'm going to be really interested to see how the Wheel of Death turns out. Just quick note here about hole 10. I mean, the fairway kind of got a little lumpy and bumpy for me off the tee. And one of my pet peeves is that pond on the left, which is significantly below the level of your stream. I'm just trying to rationalize that in my head, because you have basically your main body of water is that stream, which really in theory should be your lowest point ever. Everything around it should be kind of fuddling toward that stream, and then you got this random pond off to the left, and the grade of the land from the stream to that pond runs away from that stream. It just looks a little off to the eye.
All right, so this hole here, I've gone ahead and played it, so I'm way ahead here, but it's a par 4, it's long, it's uphill, and there's a split fairway that runs out. And I couldn't hit driver, or I didn't feel comfortable hitting driver, for fear that I would run through the fairway. I couldn't reach the other fairway, the secondary fairway, so I was left with 2 wood off the tee and 4 wood to the green, where it was imperative I get up to the upper tier because there's a huge slope. If I'm short or left, it's, I'm dead. So it makes it, I feel like this hole should have been a par 5. Maybe lengthen the hole out just a little bit, and make it a par 5 that up the hill at 5:30 instead of 5:09.
Yep.
All right. So I have a short downhill par 4.
Yep.
Which is definitely drivable. I don't know what club I would need to drive it, and you do not want to be wrong. So,
Yep.
Interesting hole. It brings a lot of risk reward. I think the risk is way too much for that, and I'm not going to take it on.
Yep.
I'm going to hit 6 iron off the tee. I think that'll put me in this area. The thing is, the safe shot is tough. It's tough to judge, and I see you've gone through.
Yeah, I barely went through with a 4. But, I mean, I know this kind of got talked about in the judging comments, too. I mean, about, the steep drop-off and the OB on 3 sides and all that, but no one's putting a gun to our head and saying, okay, you have to drive this green.
Right.
I mean, and that's really the conundrum that you have off the tee. Do you want to take this shot on? And as far as a risk reward standpoint, I don't mind that at all. I
Right.
mean,
I'm with you on that. Some of the comments, but I really disagreed um,
yeah,
with it in that I'm not forced to do that. I hit 6 iron and pitching wedge on this hole. There's no reason why I need to take that on, or I don't need to drive to the end of the fairway, or I don't need to try to take on that front bunker. It's perfectly okay that laying up is the best option.
yeah.
And in fact, I like it because I don't want going for it to be the best option every single time that there's a risk reward presented.
Yeah. No, I'm always a sucker for a short par four, especially one that can very easily bring anything from 2 to 6 or 7 in play, and this hole definitely does that. I felt like this tee shot here on 12 got a little claustrophobic, especially for a CC style course. I mean, luckily we've got a straight, downwind situation here. But I'm imagining if this is played in higher, very high, and you've got a
Yeah,
wind coming hard off the left. I mean, that's
right. And the worst thing about it is if I've got that left to right wind,
yeah,
those trees on the left prevent me from just allowing the wind to take my shot, and
yeah.
I almost have to draw it into that wind. Um, One thing we haven't talked about, but I did want to bring up is the shape of the fairway here. It's very wavy in ways that don't feel like it would be wavy if someone was to just mow this lawn. Um, I know some courses, I know Valhalla is known for this. It's wavy fairways, but I think most you would try to smooth that out a little bit to give it I think just a smoother, more refined look um, here. I don't particularly care for all this waviness with the fairway shape itself.
The green complex on this hole, as I see you're hitting up, I mean, the green complex on this hole really didn't do much for me. It feels like a missed opportunity. I mean, you've got the cliff on the right, you've got that dramatic look, and it just plays away from it. It's another. We've talked about it a few times already. There's really no definition to the target. I mean, you can kind of see the pin, but you just kind of hit into a spot. I mean, you don't really have a great grasp of where the obstacles are, where the advantages are to be gained. It felt a bit uninspired to me.
Yeah, I feel the same way. It's a lot of missed opportunities with the green complexes and sight lines, and from a playability standpoint, the course I think challenges you. I think it addresses some of the main criticisms of the low course at St. Beatty's. Um, you know, but still, it's a challenge.
Yeah,
Um, and from a CC Pro level, there's a couple of places where I thought it was you know more than a intermediate player could handle. Um, but most of it, I think, my
yeah,
opinion is, the upper levels of CC Pro can handle PGA courses. Um,
yeah.
they can handle that. Um, they're good enough. They might not. put up 50 under, but they won't get killed by the course either. So I don't mind most of the challenge. All right, Curtis, thanks for stopping in.
Yeah.
I appreciate the chat.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, I thought if nothing else, the green complexes here were a major step up from Meaties. I mean, where it really kind of felt like a bit of a lump and bump in lottery, and I get some of that's kind of in keeping with the Lynx style. But I mean, there was just a lot of pins on crowns and crevices, and yeah, it just felt like a little bit of a lottery. This is definitely smoother, but it's still a very, very challenging course. And that's probably too much.
What do you think of this hot spring?
I'd like it if it were about 20 yards further up the fairway. It put me right in between clubs again. It's a neat look, for sure. But again, it just kind of pinched off the fairway. And the fairway itself on this hole just felt kind of arbitrarily narrow. It felt like there was room where you had plenty of room out to the right to kind of widen that out a little bit. Doesn't really change playability so much, but I mean, at least it doesn't make you feel so claustrophobic off the tee. Makes it feel like you have options.
Yeah, I think I would have liked, at least further back, to have that fairway a little bit wider, so that if I want to hit back and I want to hit hybrid off the tee, I've got 30 yards to work with or 25 yards to work with. And then as you get closer to that spring, then sort of narrow that down. And I sort of wish the spring was more of a hazard to the side that pinches in, rather than being just a cutoff point of the fairway. Like, okay, you don't let me hit driver at all because I'm going to run through, and then just all I need to do is hit short and I have the same shot. It doesn't matter where I hit it. I'd almost rather, okay, if you don't want to let me hit driver, fine, the hole's plenty short where, keep that in the bag. But then if I want to hit 2-wood, maybe I have a difficult shot. And then if I want to drop back to 4-wood, it's a little bit easier. And if I want to drop back to 4 hybrid, it's a little bit easier. Something like that. And just sort of okay, here's the shot. Either you lay up in front of it and hit a good shot, or you hit into it. There's not, and you can do more with the options. I think this tee is a little bit high for this.
Yeah.
It just, even though the tee box is right at the front, it blocks almost the entire hole.
Again, that's the biggest missed opportunity on this hole. I mean, the overall grading of the hole. I mean, I think this could have been a really awesome look, but I mean, you can't see the entire front half of the green just because of the tee. And that was the biggest thing holding this hole back.
Pin is flat here. Easy putt.
I misjudged that. Just goes to show I can't putt and do math at the same time.
I heard that.
Off the pin and
so the interesting thing is I putted out, so I'm watching that, and there's no pin on my screen, so it really looks weird. All right.
my money, this might have been one of the best holes on the course. I mean, we talked about some of the missed opportunities with hazards, and I mean this fairway bunker right here at the corner is perfect, and I would love to have seen more of it on this course. But it really defines, it kind of sets the tee shot, and you carry over, and then it's you get a nice look down into the valley. I just thought it was.
Nice, looks good. Looks good. I think I would like the green not to be so far down. If it goes down and then raise it up 5 feet, maybe.
Sure.
Just to define the front of this green a little bit instead of, because there's no reason to run it down, right? There's no way of reaching that area from the tee, and there's no reason to do it on a second shot. So now I'm just, and this is an awkward distance. Uh-oh. It's not too bad.
Oh, come on.
That was a good shot. You had a much better shot than I did.
Well, yeah, I forgot how far this green runs from front to back, which, on a hole this length, with where you're playing from off the tee and just the natural grading of the hole, I'm totally fine with this green sloping front to back.
Right. Yeah, it's great actually. It's so far. I agree with you. It's the best hole in the course. I think I would have liked the green complex to be raised a little bit, but just so it's defined. But otherwise, it's a quality hole. It does a lot of things right. All right. So here we go. All right, so I can clear this. And here, okay, so I can see the bunkers in the front of the fairway, or in the front of this creek. But the ones in the back, can't really see them, and they're interesting. I would want to see them.
Yeah, and I'm glad he put the water splashes there, because if not for the water splashes, I have no clue there's a creek there.
Yeah. Again, very wavy fairway that kind of runs down on the edge. I think it could be better. Let's see. Got 228. Should be right in my wheelhouse. Uh-oh. Damn it. That'll work. Nice view off this green looking back. I guess I'm looking sideways to the next hole. Looks really nice.
Yeah.
You can kind of see over the elevated green and down the hill there.
I mean, it's kind of a plain approach in. I mean, not much bunker or anything like that, but I'm not sure how much it needs it. I mean, I think the green's placed well into the side of that hill, and I think it flows fairly well.
Yeah.
I mean, you probably could do a couple of things to add a little pop and sizzle, but I mean, it's not a bad look.
I think I would like something kind of in the front here, just to, ease the transition of the fairway into the green.
Yeah.
But what I'm looking at here, I'm putting from the left side of the green toward this hole, and over the edge of the green, I can see, there's a lake and a mountain and a clearing in between the forest, and that looks really good.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good look from this area. So you might not notice it on every round you play, but I am seeing it now, and that's definitely a good look there.
thought it was a bold choice. I think it works, but I thought it was a bold choice going back-to-back par fives. I don't like where the stream is positioned at all on this hole. I mean, unlike last on 16, where at least you can kind of see the water splashes and the steams. I mean, looking at this from the tee, I have no clue there's trouble off in the distance that I've got to avoid. I mean, it just looks like a clear shot straight down the slope, and it's anything but.
Yeah. So visually, it's tough to see from the way the hole plays. I don't know. Can you clear that? I'm gonna go for
I
it.
haven't tried. I'm not sure you can.
Well, only if you hit it to the right, apparently. I think if you hit fast, you could clear it.
Yeah, and I think if you had a little help from the wind, you might be able to clear it too, but...
Right. Okay. Left me with a tough second shot.
I mean, if you do clear that, I mean, you do have a chance to go for it in two. I mean, from the top side, I mean, really, because it's so far downhill, maybe I could fast the three wood and get down there, but, I mean, the risk's not worth the reward.
Right.
From where I'm standing.
Yeah, you needed to cross the creek to have a shot at it. So you need to hit two great shots. And I hit one, and my second one was not good. Oh, my putt was good, though.
Oh. I didn't get enough on it.
All right, final hole. 286 up the hill. This is a really cool look. I like the cliff. I like the planting on the right-hand side. Just kind of just fills that in a little bit. I know it's one piece of grass, but it helps visually. I wonder if that was there on purpose or if it just happened to be auto-gen there and just in the right spot. But it looks good with the shadows down there.
Yeah.
350 up the hill. I'm going for it. What the hell?
Oh, I just hit very fast. This will be bad.
Oh, no.
How did
What?
it green? I thought for sure I was out of bounds after hitting very fast. I thought I was toast. But again, this is another short par four that, and especially for a closer, I mean, you could be making anything from 2 to 6 on this hole.
Yeah.
And for a closer, especially either stroke or match play, that's a really interesting hole. A really cool way to finish.
Yeah. And also from putting from that side, there's a little cave from the other side that you could see, and there's a good look over the edge of this green, a waterfall, and really nice environment over here. So overall, I thought the back nine played a lot better. The front nine was really difficult, and there were a lot of things that the back nine was better. I thought, from a visual standpoint, it was really interesting, but a lot of places where opportunities were missed to make it really stand out.
Yeah.
You know, from a
The
sculpting
out of play
standpoint,
areas,
yeah,
I think the out of play areas might have been some of the best, if not the best, of the contest. But that just didn't translate over the in play areas. And I mean, the bunkering in particular, there were so many missed opportunities with bunkering and sight lines that really could have made the in play areas pop as much as the out of play areas.
right. So, all right. I'm gonna have to head out, so this is gonna be it for me. But Jeremy, I want to say thank you,
Yeah,
both
no
for
problem.
joining me, on this, and giving your insight, but also for participating and helping critique these courses and give them scores and lending your time. So thank you. I really appreciate the help.
Yeah, no problem. I'll be on most of the day if you get back at it later. So
Yeah, no, I have work this afternoon, so I'll be pretty much done as far as TGC goes for most of the day, unless I get access to my television at night, which I doubt.
there you go.
So
I guess I'll just go back to working on my Invicta course.
yeah, good luck with that. I did that a little bit this morning, and it's I like my holes individually. I don't know if I'm gonna love 18 holes of my concept. So
Yeah.
it may find its way into the dustbin, and I hope not, because I'm gonna be pressed for time as it is.
Right.
So.
All right. Thanks much, Patrick.
All right, Jeremy. Thank you. Take care. I'm sure we'll talk. And just
All right. Sounds good.
try to harp on Dwayne.
Yeah. What's going on? Get him done, Dwayne.
Yeah. All right, Jeremy. Take care. I'll talk to you.
All right. You too.
All
Bye.
right, bye.